Hey, YouTube Gundam here. Welcome back to Warships Space Engineers with funny. Welcome back to the Space Engineers, and yeah, what the hell is this thing? Actually, this is my new Rasputin class space carrier. Now, first off, why is it colored this way? Well, it's actually colored this way because of a little game called World of Warships, and in World of Warships, the American vessels are painted this way. Red on the bottom, blue there, then like this battleship gray, and then white a bit taller. So it's like that, except for a couple differences because it's in space. Now this is a carrier. Should be pretty obvious, but this is a carrier. And well, on the outside you can see a pretty large amount of Bofors and small guns and Sea-Wiz. You have these light cannons. You have Sea-Wiz with the yellow stripe there. You have Bofors, 40mm quad Bofors everywhere. You'll find there's a few other guns, but it's not much. I mean, these are the secondary guns here. They're all right here. There are those 5 single turrets up there, I mean down there, and there are these 5 dual turrets up here. Obviously the same on the other side. Bofors absolutely everywhere. But that's it for secondary armament. The rest is anti-aircraft, except for at the front you do have some offensive capability in the form of 16 250mm guns. Yeah, the bottom also has some serious defenses. It's a carrier. Carriers are not meant for the front line. With the exception of a couple of Gatling guns here and there. Actually, I think it might just be those 2. Did I put anything in the back? Yeah, okay, there's a couple more on the back. There's a single 8 30mm here guarding the rear airlock. And that's it. You literally have just Bofors, Sea-Wiz, the dual lights, and then the secondary guns, and then a couple of Aidens and a handful of Gatling guns. The rest is mostly Bofors. You'll see them everywhere. So this is carrier number 1. You can see the numbers there. And obviously it'll change the name as needed. As for rear thrusters, there are a couple of engines, as you can see, hiding by the rear Titan engines. They have plenty of room. And, well, obviously for forward thrust, a set of Titan engines along with a handful of smaller engines. You can see one of the oxygen tanks, oxygen farms hiding in there. Some Sea-Wiz, some Bofors, more engines tucked underneath. Now that's kind of sneaky. Now for downward thrust, you have the massive bank of engines there, guarded by both a dual light and a Sea-Wiz. You can tell by the barrel. Oops, wrong one. This one. You can tell by the barrel length. But you can see there's a handful of weapons, of thrusters there, but mostly on the bottom. And up front, there's a 4. And the 4 on the other side. That's it. So most of the engines are in the back, with the exception of to stop the ship, as one would expect, except for the stopping bit. However, yeah, for side thrust, you have a section of engines there. There's a massive bank there. There's also a small bank of engines up front. Top thrust, you have a massive bank there, and you have a small bank up front. To stop the ship, you have a bank here, and then you have the forward engines, which is really just a handful. There's these engines here, including a Sage Industrial engine. Why? Because I felt like I wanted it. Although, it does take a bit of room, but I had the room. So, the main stopping force is, of course, this. A Titan engine, which is protected. Some Sea-Wiz and a dual light in case some fighter gets in there. If you're a fighter in here, all you gotta do is throw the engine in reverse. You know, throw the ship in reverse, this engine cooks you. You're done. But just in case they don't want to do that, or didn't notice. Let's go on the flight deck for now. So, you have 2 towers to deal with craft. These would display if you're going too high or too low, to left, to right, when you're coming in for a landing. And yes, it is set up like a carrier would. You would head in, you would touch down, no arrestor hooks, but you would touch down, slow, 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 stop, and then you'd head down into the ship here. Obviously, it's pretty big for a hatch here, but you can get some decent-sized craft down there. It's also meant to be resupplied here from smaller craft that just come into here. Now there is a little bump there. That bump is to protect the pistons. The pistons are the primary source of resupply along with this here. That can go for the big ones, that for the medium, and the smaller resupply craft can go here. And then when you're done, hang on, let me launch shore. Yeah, it is a blast shutter that does go up. It goes up significantly, as you can tell. There's a gap here, but yeah. So you store one fighter here, prepping it for launch. Another fighter here, prepping it for launch. So obviously you have your size, but you can have one big one instead. You put here, raise that, boom, you're gone. Now, the yellow is to help mark, along with the black to help mark that. The yellow is to help mark the area for the fighters. And it's a carrier, they don't care about stealth too much. Another oxygen farm there. There's another oxygen farm hiding there. They're kind of hiding. You can see that up front. I mean, you can see that one, but it's just tucked in there. You will notice there's a handful of areas that have heavy armor blocks. Not many. Around the bridge, around here. A couple of others over there, but it's mostly light armor. So, there's that. But it's a lot faster this way, if it's a lot lighter. The rest of the outside, you have the outside view here, which this is the, as you can see here, observation deck and secondary fighter bridge, so you can take command of the fighters from here, but it's mainly for observation. This is the main bridge here. Alright, that's your main bridge with the little area on the side to look. And this is the primary fighter bridge, so they have a lot more room to look, and then a couple areas on the side to also help control. But that's for dealing with fires, the secondary, but that's main observation. If you look at it, normally you'd think, well, that's probably the observation deck, so one of the ones below it, but the bridge should be the thicker one, not the thinner one. Not on a carrier, it's usually the opposite. Or you'd think, well, I'll aim for these two towers. Okay, go look at that. I mean, obviously you can hit it, but there's defenses all over the place. Dual light cannons, when aiming missiles are not going to do it, because you have to get by that to get anywhere near it. Good luck. Yeah, you see there's a handful of weapons hiding in here as well. Let's take a look inside the hangar. First off, we have two doors. These are hooked up to sensors. You have the two doors that will open up here. You have the inside. It does have a savers in here in case there's an enemy craft that gets in here from one of the doors or there somehow. It'll help. And some turrets to keep people from there, which, yes, this is to deal with the hangar. This is hangar control here. It's kind of small but heavily defended. This is also the emergency bay to control the ship. And it's under there. That's kind of a durable spot. You know, it's right under there. You can see from the where the doors are located here. That's a pretty durable spot. Right in front of the white there. And the entire flight deck, the whole thing is heavy armor, not light armor. That's heavy armor blocks. So besides the flight deck, though, there's not much. Except for, there's a couple down here? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, so you come in here with the sensors. It's well lit. And yes, I'll show you that later. It's set up for people for right now. So there are some spotlights for the inside. You can turn those off. Currently they're off. You can turn them on if you need it. This is where you can store some larger craft, getting them ready. But this is the main storage area for craft. You can see they're not very big room for fighters and stuff. It's, yeah, there isn't much room in here, but it is capable of handling drones and small craft quite nicely, and then some larger, not too many. Then you have your repair bay in here. Now the repair bay is nearly as big as that, but you can store additional craft in here. It's just they have to be a lot smaller to fit through there. Now, in case you're wondering what this is, a series of welders to repair the door just in case it gets damaged by a launching craft, and you have the repair bays there. I was going to put it in the floor, but decided against it. I don't really want to put that arrow there, but oh well. Inside here, obviously, you can see there's an oxygen. There's a hydrogen tank, some gyros, and a nuclear reactor. And this is actually protecting a series of gyros. That's what this is protecting. You can see them there. And behind it is the same, actually. And there's also, if I can find it, yeah, there's one. There's a few. Yeah, there's some gyros behind there. So, yeah. So you can say, well, if an enemy craft gets in here, but that's the point, they're not supposed to. So it doesn't really matter. And then that is the way into the ship. One of them. That is one of the ways into the ship. Why is that there? Okay. So that's one of the ways into the ship. You can see the Sage engines here with heavy armor around them, yes. And, in case you can't tell, the whole thing's ventilated. This whole area is ventilated. All of it, thanks to that and those doors. Obviously, they open this. So, I do remember something I forgot. Whoops. Of course, I forget something that important. I'll be right back. Color me Mr. Dummy here. Yeah, I forgot the force field here. So that way whenever you open this door, or that door, you don't vent the whole inside of this. So that force field will help protect that, and that force field is for that. Put another one. Why did I not do? Oh, because the conveyor. That's why. But there was supposed to be one here. Leave it to me to keep forgetting things, right? I always forget things. So, yes, a force field here to make sure this stays ventilated, period. And the force field over there, obviously, if you seal this off, then what do you do with that? Well, that doesn't matter too much. It'd just be nice creature comfort. But I will be adding vents as we go along. I suck. So, yeah. No. So you can say, well, people can do damage to the ship from here. Yeah, and just a couple of gyros. It's not a big deal. But it helps ventilate this area. I forgot to turn on the... It should be a drinking game. Whenever I make a mistake and have to have an edit to fix something, you take a drink. Okay, so... vents here to vent this whole area, and then a few vents there to vent that. Which that's going to constantly be pressurized and depressurized as time goes on. So, yeah. I suppose I could put another one there, but I kind of want the room. Then again, nah. It is a much bigger area. I think they need it, so. There. That should work. Okay. Yes, that door, by the way, goes into the actual rest of the ship, and, you know, Space Engineers rules, so that works. Let's show you the inside of the ship. There are two entrances. There's the entrance right here, and obviously the other side. And there's the entrance back here, and obviously the other side. I'm going to show you from here. Let me slow down. Here we go. Enter here. First off, there's a series of guns. Obviously, you could break your way in, but I forgot about that. What next am I going to do? Okay. It just looks better if it looks like that, you know? You go to the side, it's like, boop, nope. So enter here, there's a series of guns, and there's vents. You go up, good ways, oxygen generation. Yes, oxygen generation. It's a carrier. Don't expect the enemy to go aboard. It's still, again, pretty nice here. Now, there's an oxygen tank, and you can go through this door here, which leads to the rest of the ship, but we're going to go up first. Go up through this so it's pressurized to here. Remember this? Yeah. And yes, it's a couple guns. So it is pressurized in here separately from the rest. And you have a nice view to land craft and even launch craft, and you have a bit of view around the ship. And the other guys, hello, bye-bye. So to the rest of the ship, though, you go in here, and this, remember this? This is for controlling the hangar. And again, the emergency ship control. Head down. Cargo containers are here, along with a bunch of guns. You can see those. And you hop out here, a couple more guns saying hello. And obviously, yes, there's gyros, but it's okay. Now, you can move all the way down, and you have a choice. You go through there, or you go through there. I'm going to go through this. Go through the little airlock, and this is the main bridge. Hello. So here's your main bridge. Obviously, I already mentioned the doors on the side to these small little areas, just so if you want to look around or something. On the sides by the doors, you have ways up and down. Obviously, only one gun turret in the main bridge. Yeah, because you have to go all this way. There's going to be some people trying to stop you, okay? Oh, and yes, in case you didn't see it, there's a hydroponics farm sitting over here. So, yeah. Just to help keep it ventilated. So, go here. You have two choices. I'm going to go up first, so head up, and you come to the observation deck. And, yes, you have your little door here. This door, a single gun, an event, leads to outside. Why is there a single gun there? Look at its location. Right? Look at their location. It's unlikely you're going to get near it with a boarding party. You're going to say, well, what if you come in from the front here? You think they're just going to be able to fly right at an engine? Yeah, they just give it a little turn, you're dead. And just in case there is one gun, and then you have to head down, and you see two guns. And then you can head down from here to go to the main bridge. Head down again, you get to the blue deck. Right? That's one way you can tell the deck is this one's blue and white, and it's specifically with the hull. You can see the blue and the, gray, specifically with the roof, so yes, that's how you can tell exactly where it sits. So this, primary fighter bridge, there's a gun there. There is this door out here to help with that, and yes, you got a little vent. Hello. Nice and comfortable in there. A few vents. A couple more guns. Again, that goes up. And then you have what's in here. Cryo. This is for the crew. You see this? This is nice little something I added. This is that slit over there. These are a set of 3 windows that leads to here. And yes, hydroponics and a gun turret. And as I've shown, it is ventilated to the rest. And yeah, you have the color patterns. And then you have this. Medical is tucked in here, just hiding in the corner. Go through here, a series of gun turrets, some vents to go up to here. Now, why is it like that? Because you can vent this area. You're supposed to be able to vent this area with a rapid depressurization. And it's supposed to be filled with crew. It's the repair shop. Filled with crew with rifles. Good luck. But this, less so. And yes, this is a good way for the personnel in here to get up quickly to their fighters. They go out the door. They can have a few clamber in here. Then they just close that hatch. Open this hatch. If it's pressurized, though, they just open both and just run out. And you're in your fighters. From both sides of the ship. Remember, this is just half the ship. On the other side, there's the more. Now, go into here, gun turret, and you're outside the ship. This is the lower bay, which you can house larger craft. You can resupply the ship or just house a couple escort frigates or something like that for this carrier. Yeah, there's some nice defenses, and then there's another gun there saying hello. You can go... as is shown here, you can hop off if you want to, or you can spacewalk down, do some stuff, then spacewalk back up. And yes, spacewalking to here is the only way for a craft there to get up. There is no hatch to be, for them to go up, no ramp, specifically because I don't really know what small craft would be here. Basically just whatever you want. I forgot to put that blue. Whoops. My bad. Boop. It blew. Okay. And no, I did not forget about that. That's supposed to be because this is specifically not blue except for those areas. Reasons. Go through, gun turret. Go through, gun turret. Seats, rear cryo, another medical gun turret, vents, and yes, this is right underneath there. And this is a false wall, so you will be shooting at it. You're supposed to aim there, but you think it's the whole thing. You'll be trying to shoot the whole thing. If you're at a distance, it's not easy to tell. So you just shoot at the whole thing, and you're only supposed to hit part of it. So that's something. The other one, well, that doesn't have it, but it's a lot smaller. Obviously, I missed a couple of things of blue, so this is gonna be fun. Did I get it? Nope. Got it. Okay, now the wall. Whoop. Got it. Okay. So that's the whole ship. It's not much, is it? Until you obviously drop down and take a look at the innards. Take a look at the innards here at the back. You have oxygen storage with some gyros, and I believe there's some oxygen generation around here somewhere. Maybe not. Where am I? Oh, up here. By the Titan engine, you have some gyros. You see the two Titan engines there. It's huge. Yeah, just a ton of gyros. You'd expect that. Some cargo there, smaller cargo. It's not much. I don't. There's. This is. I don't know where the other one went. Oh. What else is in that area? In here, there's actually a lot of stuff. There's a lot of oxygen storage, and there is oxygen generation in here. There's one of them. And yes, that generates hydrogen. And there's batteries, just in case, and thrusters. And a bank of gyros and batteries are here as well. And then there's just a large bank of gyros, obviously. And then you have the rear thrusters. I don't remember the layout of my own ship, but you'd expect that from me. If I was different, like, who are you? What do you do with the real me? You know, do you want to be the real me? I suck. Now, here it's empty. You know, there's nothing. Just a hallway. On the outside of the ship, well, there is that little area there where there's some gyros and some batteries are underneath. Gotta put those there. You know, I completely forgot about this. A series of large gyros areas again with a ton of batteries. Again. There they are. These are the reactors I was looking for. I knew there was by the cryo, the rear one, and there's that oxygen generation, but they're the reactors, some of the backup ones, hiding right here. So if you're trying to blow up this ship, besides aiming for the Titan engine, this is one area you want to do it. All those batteries are going to make it difficult because it can store it for a long time. I mean, that's a lot of batteries. But this is one of the reactor sets. You see that both are there. It's right there. So it's not an easy target to hit. And it's only a few reactors. There's plenty more where those came from. I just have to remember where I put them. So here's some of those gyros again that I was talking about there. Yes, they're right under that. Or right above, technically. Now, yeah, obviously you can hit that main reactor there. There's two large reactors right on the other side of that. But look at the location. You think you're going to fire missiles into that. You can hit it with guns, but it's not going to be an easy target. And, yeah, it's kind of surrounded. It's actually not in this right area. It's actually a little to the side, right there. Literally by a couple guns. And there's gyros around it to, you know, try to help absorb damage or something. On the top here, in the hangar, lots of oxygen storage and cargo containers for repair. I'm trying to remember my own layout here. You know me. There's that cryo medical. Here they are. This is the main area. Down underneath, obviously right next to a Titan engine, if you can see it. This is better. 2 heavy reactors. There are 4, I believe? Yes, 4 hydrogen tanks. 4 big hydrogen tanks. And then there's more. Some small reactors and cargo with gyros by the big guns up front. There we are. So, aim for this spot. You'll have to shoot through a few conveyors. That's not too hard. You'll hit 4 hydrogen tanks, and then 2 large nuclear reactors. And you can see right there, the oxygen farm right there is at the back of it. So it's this section here is reactors, and then there's that section which is hydrogen. You're not getting through that. So you have reactor there, and then reactors underneath it. And there's a few other small reactors up front, and those other ones over there. But this area here is the main area. Now, I thought I had put in a large cargo container, but I took it out with the smaller ones. And yeah, you have the smaller reactors and gyros there. More banks of gyros and batteries here. And I was trying to remember if I put something above it, but... Oh! Here's another. I remember I put more here. Yeah, this is a giant armor block. It's just solid armor. I suppose it could remove that if it wanted to, but... It's solid armor, and there's heavy armor in here as well. So, the point is protecting the Sage thruster, because Titan engines are tough. But there's 4 more reactors, and I believe those are hooked up to cargo containers, but I can't really see. No, I think they're just hooked up to conveyors. Yeah, they're just hooked up to conveyors, but still, 4 more reactors hiding right here. Good luck at that. There's one of the gravity generators. So, you're not knocking that out. I mean, look at the location. It's not going to be easy to knock it out. And it's not like there's much of a crew to worry about it in the first place. Ship can be up here, but a pretty small crew. What else I have? Oh yeah, there's that. There's this. The other gravity generator is just back here. Oh, here they are. Yeah, when you come down here, you do have access to a couple nuclear reactors in the cargo containers. There are 3 reactors there, and then those 2 gyros. So, yeah, go get hitting it. And those, I believe, yep, Titan engine. So, above and below it should be reactors. Yep, there they are. That's also on the Ford Titan engine, but that's my general thing. Conveyors with Titan engines and reactors, top and bottom, and then some cargo. But if you saw it hiding, there it is, right by this bank of gyros here, the rear gravity generator. So, good luck at getting into that. You'd have to break an entire Titan engine and then get in there if you want to break the gravity generator. So basically, it's not really possible from that side. You can do it from the top, but it's a small target to hit right there. Of course, then there's some other stuff there, so yeah. Vulnerable areas, yes, but also not very vulnerable because of all the turrets. It's could be. Now, I didn't set up the console yet, but that's a lot of weight. 21,337,880 kilograms of weight. Acceleration is pretty darn quick. Deceleration's not bad. Going in reverse, obviously nowhere near as good, but when you have just the 1 Titan engine and a couple Sage thrusters, and then just a few small engines, and then this you have a lot. Now, rotation is ridiculous on a carrier, which is quite nice. And yes, those force fields still not function. However, do not try to maneuver this thing in multiple directions at the same time. It doesn't like that too much. Now, the one area that this really struggles is going side to side. But it's a lot easier to just turn the whole ship than it is to do that. I always find that funny. Up, down, side to side isn't very good, but it's something. But that's the typical of my ships. They rotate well, they turn well, but when you want them to strafe or go up and down, not so much. Going forward and back, definitely good, especially the forward. That's typical for me. So yeah. Oh, and this likes to keep going. So when you want to stop, stay at the controls for a few seconds longer. I don't know if it just changes the game engine. They did update this a while back, so I'm not sure. But it likes to it's lazy. It doesn't like to stop and just park it straight away. It likes to slow down and nearly stop and then just keep going just a little, but it keeps doing it for a while until finally it stops. So for about 30 seconds to a minute after you actually stop, and that includes swinging it around for 30 seconds to a minute. Just sit there and do nothing, because it'll want to keep moving, and if you don't stop it, it'll just keep doing it. Alright? So the Rasputin carrier. Yeah, I just gotta make a couple final challenges and I'm done. Ciao.